Welcome back, my friends. So this is a couple of days later. If I remember correctly, I think we were missing like a couple of things, which I know our famous towel blow-off valve finally came in. We got it installed. But once we got that installed, as you can see, I pretty much buttoned up the entire car. I made a few changes with the car. Let's start with the AOS, for example. So remember all the hoses that was right here, it was just all discombobulated and looked crazy. So we got rid of that. I don't know how well y'all can see that, but we have the competition series going out through the driver's side. So that way we can, ventilate as much crankcase pressure, so that way we're not over pressurizing the system and having a bunch of oil leave out through the turbo. Another issue that we had was the last turbo that I bought. It's still, we still have a FP green in here, but the last turbo that we bought was not it. It was shooting oil out through the bag. I want to say the rear, what's it called? The rear turbine seal. I guess it might have been out of spec, so a lot of oil was being shot out through the exhaust, and I couldn't figure out why. But then eventually I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna buy a brand new one. So I went and I bought a brand new FP green turbo. It is ported, instead of the 8cm housing, it's a 10cm housing, and then I also have it coated, so we get to flow out more air to keep that turbo spooled up. Other changes that we made, I did have my boost controller set up like a 4-port, but my tuner wanted it set up to the 3-port. So if you don't know how to do it, basically port 1 goes to your intake, port 2 goes all the way down to the bottom of the gate, and then port 3 goes to the turbo. That is how you set it up with a 3-port boost controller. If you do not know, I know there's not a lot of videos explaining that, but here I am explaining that to you. Another issue that we had was we had to get a new base map, because the first base map that we had caused the car to also not run properly. So my boy Anthony got me right down at Mbot Tuning. He got me sent over a brand new base map. So I will be firing the car up here in a second to make sure that we are good to go with the new base map that we got. But other than that, let's go ahead and get this first start popping. All right, here we go. First start. Let's build up that fuel pressure. Let's make sure we don't have any fuel leaks, which I highly doubt because I didn't mess with any fuel lines, but we are good to go on fuel pressure. All right, so now, moment of truth. Here we go. Let's check for oil leaks. Okay, so now that we got the first start out the way, now that we got the car all warmed up and whatnot, y'all can officially hear me. Not sure in that last clip if y'all can hear me, but I went, I checked to make sure we didn't have any oil leaks, which we're good on that. No air leaks, we're good on that. So other than that, that's pretty much it. But a quick rundown on the entire build for those that are new. We have an IEG 750 short block with stock heads. The only thing in the heads that I did do is I upgraded the springs, but the cams and everything else are still factory. We have an ETS front mount intercooler with a 4-inch core. We have the Cobb turbo inlet. Also, we have the Cobb SF intake. We have the hybrid setup for speed density. We have the FP green turbo, it's ported. We have that going with the parent headers, the Remark single exit with the NVIDIA Catalyst downpipe. We still have the factory TGVs. My fuel lines are all Cobb, the whole Cobb kit. We have an upgraded radiator to keep cooling temperatures down a little bit. We are on 20W50 oil since we have a built block. We have a ACT Extreme Duty heavy clutch in the car. The rating for that is, I believe it's like 500 something foot-pounds of torque. I don't remember, but I will probably put it somewhere on the screen on how much it is. And we also have the IEG competition. Well, it was street series, but we converted it into a competition series. But other than that, in the next video, we'll go on a test drive. I'll give you guys some exhaust clips and all that. But first, I'm gonna dial in my base map. I'm gonna go and get me cruising logs, driving logs, and watt logs. Pretty sure you guys don't want to see the boring stuff. So when I'm done with all of that, I will give you guys my first initial impression of the car on the new setup. I'm hoping to make close to 500. I know my limiting factor is going to be the 1050 injectors. In the future, I will upgrade to 1300s, but for now, just to get my car back up and running and back on the streets, I just left the 1050s in. But other than that, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. And for all my returning subscribers, go ahead and turn that post notification bell so you never miss another video. With that being said, OG signing out.